Hello, this is video 2 walking through the Warm Homes Local Grant EOI form, and we're now moving on to section 3, which is on the delivery assurance check and procurement. So this is set out in the same way as the first two tabs. It has some guidance for all local authorities and then some additional guidance just for consortia. The first question is for consortium EOIs, and it's asking whether expressions of interest, beg your pardon, for whether LAs within that consortium that need to undertake the delivery assurance check in separate waves over multiple months. So we expect that most local authorities, so all single local authorities and most consortium EOIs will come to the delivery assurance check all at one point when the whole project is ready. But there might be some consortia where different parts of the consortium are procuring separately and might be mobilizing at different paces, and therefore may want to start delivery at different points in time as well. So if that's the case for your consortium, then you would just select yes here, and then not complete the rest of section 3. You would just go immediately to Annex A, which is on the bottom tab here, and complete the annex here. For all other LAs, so single LAs could leave this blank, but a consortium LA that doesn't apply to would say no. Then you would complete the rest of this section and you don't have to complete Annex A. 3B is asking what month you intend to undertake your delivery assurance check in the first financial year of the scheme. And this is based on your mobilization and what you know about your mobilization and procurement timelines. So we will use some of the remainder of the information that you provide to check that this delivery assurance check date is achievable and that we're happy that we can allocate funding based on that delivery assurance check month, and therefore when you will start delivery in the first financial year of the scheme. We then ask whether you intend to transfer any of the contracts or documents from the HUG2 delivery assurance check to Warm Homes Local Grant. You can respond to that separately for the documents and for contracts, and obviously this depends on whether you have participated in HUG2 and also whether those documents and contracts are suitable to be transferred over to the local grant. And the documents that you can transfer are the fraud risk assessment, the fraud management plan, and the escalation contacts. This is an optional part of the delivery assurance check, so if you don't think it works for you, you don't have to use it. The next part is not a question, but it's an automatic calculation, and so if I select a delivery assurance check date, say I think that I will be able to come to the DAC in August and therefore start delivery in September, it will automatically calculate for me when the implied mobilization review would be. This is just an implication based on the date you selected, and it could change depending on when you sign the MOU, pardon me, and also when your delivery assurance check ends up being. So if we move the DAC date to be later, then the mid-mobilization review would be later. And similarly, if the MOU wasn't signed when we assume it would be in and around February, then the mid-mobilization review would also go backwards. So this is just a purely indicative date to help you plan. Then in 3D, we ask you to set out how you will procure and award contracts. So there are various options, which we then ask you to go into more detail on in question 3E. So you might select DPS, framework, direct award, or other options. And then we would ask you to provide some more detail in question 3E, where you can where we want you to focus on how the timelines for your chosen procurement method will enable you to meet your selected DAC month. That's the main reason that we're asking this information from you at this time, is to check that that start of delivery is achievable. The final two questions in this section are around acknowledgements of things that we will then check at the delivery assurance check. So the first one is your compliance with the relevant public procurement regulations, whichever are in force at the time. And then the final question is around compliance with the Modern Slavery Act and ensuring that any conflicts of interest are appropriately mitigated and managed. And that is the end of section 3. Moving on to section 4 of the form. This section is focused on resourcing, and the main part is asking you to confirm that there will be a minimum of 2 full-time equivalent staff to run the project, including a project management officer and a reporting and data officer. So obviously, to stress, this is one FTE. It doesn't have to be one person, but we're just asking to make sure that there is sufficient capacity to resource the mobilization and delivery of the project. We then ask in 4B whether this resource will be in place for the mobilization period, or in other words, for when the MOU is signed. And just to say again that we expect MOUs will be available for signing in and around February 2025. And then 4C is an optional question, and it's dependent on your answers to 4A and B. So if you aren't going to have 2 FTE in place, or that resource won't be in place for the start of the mobilization period, then we want you to provide an answer in here as to how you will ensure that you procure on time and can then meet your DAC month. And that is the end of section 4.